I'm Sara Page. I'm a surface pattern designer, and I've studied and lived in and around Birmingham for most of my life, and I now live actually in Warwickshire. I studied my MA at this university, and I'm now actually a visiting lecturer as well. I teach on the BA Textile course. Having had a career in textiles and lecturing, I decided in 2011 to sort of take it to another level, and I studied my MA here. And that's when I decided to set up my business. The inspiration being that I've always loved the table. I've loved the tableware. As a small child, I loved to set the table. I like the sense of occasion. So I thought, well, this is where I need to take my designs. I need to sort of set out to develop this. This was based on the fact that I'd looked at people and admired people like Paul Smith, Orla Kiley, Kath Kids and Emma Bridgewater, who all had their own characteristic look and brand. And so I needed to set out and find Sarah's mark. So I looked back at my painting from my early youth and started to work with the brushstroke. And then introduced a line, the outline, which gives a personality, I think, to the shape, and gives that sort of flourish and style in the way I work. During the sort of a year after finishing my MA, that I actually got involved also with Birmingham Made Me, and it was a fantastic opportunity because I was involved with the shop in the mailbox, which enabled me to meet the consumer, to really test out my products and find out what the consumer thought and how to develop it. Also during that time I managed to meet various manufacturers and network, I now have, which was my intent, to manufacture my goods in the UK, and in fact even better in the Midlands, which makes it a lot easier to get about, to organise. But I have actually found that now that I've got a lot of interest from sort of the high street, that I've had to sort of source elsewhere into Europe, because as my product's gone out of the region and developed, its price is far more competitive, and one has to meet that. Through networking there and meeting people, I've actually found suppliers, textile suppliers in the north of Portugal. I know that I'm in good company with these manufacturers. But I also know that now has enabled me to reach out to a wider audience, and more consumers can actually obtain my goods. And I think this allows me to fulfil my mantra, which is, to lay the table, to share good conversation and good food, can benefit both health and happiness. Colours are very important to me. I'm very comfortable with colour. I love to work with colour, and this has actually led to some of the difficulty when I go from drawing the designs and taking them through to manufacture, because each different surface that you work on, whether it be ceramic, textiles or laminate, the colours vary, and I'm very, very particular about this, and I probably given my manufacturers a very hard time over it, but I think it really matters because colour is essential to my design. It's quite simple, and it's important that those colours are right. So this is one of my melamine pieces. There are a range of different trays of different sizes, but I rather like this one because it's a cheese. I call it a cheese board. I think it could be a chopping board or a cheese board, but I rather like the sort of retro style. It's reminiscent of the sort of cheese board my mother had in the 1970s. And this looks rather, can be sold with the tapas bowls that I have made in Portugal. And I think it's very nice for that sort of sharing type of meal. The textiles I have here, these are the ones that I'm having made in Portugal now, and I'm very, very pleased with these. I'm very pleased with the quality. I was very pleased with the experience I had with the factory. I had to take my design, the bottles and the shapes were a lot smaller, and I decided to take them larger because I had a sample done, and when you started to sort of see that on an apron, on the body, or on base like this, it was suddenly very small and just looked like a sort of ditzy little pattern. And I wanted you to be very aware that it is paintbrush strokes, and that they are bottles and they are jars. Which is very appropriate for the setting. I think that sometimes people may think that you sort of pluck designs out of the air, but it's not that easy. And in fact, they would have no depth to them, no integrity if you did. It does take time, it takes research, it takes, you know, they have to come from here, they have to come from you, and they have to be part of your personality to actually, so that you can, you know, plough your own furrow and actually say, this is, you know, this is me, this is Sara Page. This is not, you know, a company doing a sort of Me Too, let's latch on to the latest look. You can't actually chase trends, you need to make trends. And this is, and I think the only way you can make that is actually if those designs come from, you know, are very personal to you and come from your own, you know, mantra, as I have.